You guys, I've been up since 1 o'clock this morning and it is currently 3:30 p.m. What better time than now to start a sewing project and probably go get myself a smoothie and a soft pretzel. My Lord of the Rings baby shower is in 4 days and I don't have anything to wear. I've made a ton of corsets for other people, but like, what do I clothe my body in? Well, that's a great question. And the answer is something that's soft and stretchy. Seems obvious, but when I tell you getting to that conclusion took me a while, believe me. So today I'm making myself 2 dresses, like a chemise and then like an overdress situation. And it's gonna be like Tolkien core, not so much Hobbit core or elf core. Like I couldn't really decide what I wanted to be for this whole thing, so I'm just going Tolkien core because the whole thing is Lord of the Rings themed. I have everything I need upstairs except for a smoothie, which we will go get shortly. Yeah, so here's to hoping this all comes together quickly because we only have a few days until the party and I probably only have a few hours left of focus and cognition because I've been up for a really, really long time. In this house we craft in pajamas, let's get to it. It's smoothie time and this new little place opened up down the road from me and I've been wanting to try it. I know they have soft pretzels, so I might be getting one of those. This is probably a really dumb question, but do you guys have smoothies?
Yeah, we do.
Okay, if you were gonna make yourself a smoothie, what would you do? Like what would you put in it?
I like a strawberry banana swirl.
Got it. Does it fulfill my dreams? No, it doesn't. It scratches the itch, but it's not dream fulfilling status. Okay, now we can get going. I almost drank this whole thing already. And I did some laundry, but we're back and we're here and we're doing this. What I have, these are my materials. They're both stretchy, both soft, both comfortable, both green. I never cleaned after my last project and it shows and I'm having a hard time finding things, but I'll figure it out. Here's the plan. I'm gonna do a chemise type situation of this, like with the puffy sleeves and everything and the elastic up top, out of the light green, and then out of the darker green, I'm gonna do a dress that'll go over it that is essentially this dress I already made, but this one is blue and I want it to be green. I'll show you what this dress looks like. She real simple. Like I don't know if it gets more simple than this. It's basically just a tube with some elastic on it. Okay, see, that's it. Nothing super fancy. It does have a little ruffle at the bottom, which is kind of cute. I'll probably keep that aspect for the green dress. It's not super full on the bottom, it just kind of goes straight down. And honestly, I don't need anything super fancy. I just want something to wear to the party. I'm feeling good, very little sleep, but I'm gonna fight it for a little bit longer because it's getting darker and I think I'll just like figure my life out a little bit later. So, sheared up top, long tube on the bottom, long rectangle, a little bit of gathering for the tier on the very, very bottom. And I think I can do that tonight. I'll probably get to the chemise tomorrow morning. I need to use an actual pattern for this one and I just don't feel like fighting that right now. We're working off of maybe 5 or 6 brain cells and 4 of those are the babies, which I'm currently claiming because like I've said before, I'm starting to feel a little bit more dumb every single day. There's nothing I can do about it. I'm fighting it, but nothing is working. So, yeah, how out of breath I am, this is ridiculous. We're gonna recreate this dress out of this fabric and see what happens. Let's go. For the top of the bodice, like I've done a million times, I'm just gonna do a really simple sheared bodice. It's just that thing where you put elastic thread in the bobbin and then regular thread up top, long stitch length, and then you pull the fabric through the machine as it sews. I've done enough of these to know I need about 3 bobbins full of elastic thread before I start. So I've got my main pieces cut out. I'm gonna wind up some bobbin thread and then pretty much be ready to just get going on this. And that is how it's done. Or at least that's how I do it. And now we're done. What took me 2 minutes this morning would have taken me half an hour last. And that's why we don't craft or sew or make design decisions after a certain time. Sometimes it's 11:30, sometimes it's when you just feel too tired to keep going. So with this done, it is snack time. Don't mind if I do. The next part, this is the bodice part, goes around your boobies. This is the skirt part. What I'm gonna do to attach this guy to this guy is I'm gonna continue this technique on this longer piece, but just along the top. Maybe just like 1 or 2 rows, 2 maybe even is excessive. And then we'll just stick them together. I promise you it works and it's not hard. Let's do it. This is what it looks like when it's all pinned together. I personally don't pin every single inch of the skirt to the top because I'm gonna be stretching it anyways when I sew it through the machine, and it just would take me twice as long to pin twice as much. So I don't mind that there are little gaps in there. It'll work just fine. Trying it on and I made this too long. Like this section right here should really only go to here. So I've got a good 2.5 inches. That's too long and it just looks like a little stupid. Okay, gonna have to figure out how I want to fix that because it's just not gonna cut it. Like it could just be a simple fix like this. Maybe I just tuck it and it's not that big of a deal. I might have just fixed it. We'll go with that. The baby shower is tomorrow, and I'm still not finished with this. I still have a whole other dress to make, but thankfully it's a pretty easy one. I've made it before. I'm hoping it'll go pretty smoothly, but you know how it is when you say things like that and you're on a timeline. I have a few minutes I can work on it really quick, and by a few minutes I mean like an hour and a half. I'm hoping to get all the pattern pieces cut out. There's only 3 pattern pieces. 3 pattern pieces that I need to cut out for the chemise that's gonna go underneath this dress. And then I have an appointment at the phone store because it's time for me to get a new phone, I guess. Slash, our plan is being updated. Slash, I'm not really 100% sure. But anyways, this is the pattern that I'm using for the chemise under thing. I'm leaning more towards this sleeve length instead of this sleeve length because it will take me less time to do. And that's a perfectly valid reason for wanting to pick one thing over another. I just need to clear off some space and then we'll get going. pattern that that I'm using, I have it cut out for a size 14. I am currently not a size 14, and I don't have my measuring tape up here because I was measuring Chris's head last night for a special helmet because he bought a scooter. So I'm just using this piece of ribbon, and guess what? Even though it's just a random piece of ribbon that I found and just like grabbed, it's the perfect length. You guys can't see it, but it's the perfect length. Okay, maybe I'll add like 2 inches at the bottom, and then I just used that same ribbon and I was like, okay, that's gonna be tight. We don't want it to be tight. We want it to be like loose and flowy. So let's add a little bit of space. Okay, that's better. That's a little bit of space. Then what I'll do is I'll fold that in half, get my little measurement, and I realize you guys can't see this all that well, and that's on me. It's okay. But I've got my half measurement here, and I'll go from that halfway mark out to freaking here. Look how much I have to add. That's crazy. And then I'll just kind of like, I don't know, make a little wrinkle or something, move my pattern over, and that's my new line. It's gonna add a ton of width, it's gonna add a ton of volume, and that's what we want. Friendly reminder that if you're gonna use a serger or an overlock machine on one fabric and then switch to another, this is just a regular cotton and this is like a stretch knit, always do a test piece because the weights of these two fabrics are totally different. And what ended up happening is, like, in my attempt to adjust the settings, everything got weird and I had to start completely over, which freaking sucks. Rethreading a serger at 8 o'clock in the morning? No, 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 no. But I did it and it's working, so now I can finally get going. Nightmare. The stuff of nightmares. Like casual sewing, craft related nightmares, but still. I'm gonna share something with you all that is unbelievably obvious when it comes to sewing, but it's a thing that took me years and years and years to actually learn. And that is cutting out the little marking things. Some people snip them into the fabric. I don't do that because it makes it harder to adjust the size. So I cut the little shape out. But especially when you're talking about sleeves, and especially when it's like big, billowy Renaissance sleeves, if you aren't cutting those out, like this is the sleeve and this is the body part of the dress, if you're not cutting those out, it's so easy to get confused what sleeve goes where. And it makes a huge difference for the end fit if your stuff is put together correctly. I've made so many Renaissance big billowy chemise type dress looking things where the sleeves were just weird and wrong, and it's literally just because I wasn't cutting out the notches. Anyways, I'm gonna get these sleeves put on and then I'm gonna go to my appointment. Phone appointment, not doctor's appointment this time. Although I went to the doctor's yesterday. Things are great because I go to the doctor's pretty often now because I'm pregnant. And if you didn't know that, actually, you know what? I probably have mentioned that probably already. It's just getting redundant, but I'm excited about it. It is the full-on next day. I did not end up working on this. I wanted to finish it, but it just didn't happen. So here we are, potentially wearing one of my biggest sizing mistakes of all time. It's a lot, okay? It's a lot. But we have to put that elastic in there. So I'm hoping that it's just kind of flowy and easy to wear and honestly kind of full because I think that's gonna be most comfortable, right? Do I feel like I'm wearing a choir gown? Yeah, a little bit, but I'm not mad about it. We're on the right track, I hope. So from here, I'm gonna sew on the casing, and I have those already cut out. They're right here. I need to sew them together so that it's like one big long thing, you know? That's gonna go up around the neckline and the sleeves. And then after that, I'm gonna sew the casing for the sleeves. And I'm not even gonna hem this because it's knit. It's not gonna really fray. Plus it's not very long, so it's not gonna drag on the ground or anything. And hopefully this only takes me maybe an hour and a half, 2 hours. Because the shower is today, and I have a ton that I need to do to get ready for it. This was not part of my plan for the day, but it has become my #1 priority. Let's get to it. So So far so good, things are going well. From this point, what I'm gonna do is I just have the casing stitched onto the top of the dress. If you can even call this a dress, chemise. For some reason, I don't feel like those are quite synonymous. But so this is the good side. This is the, wait, no, this is the outside. This is the inside. They're both good. They're both good sides. But I'm gonna fold this down a little bit like that and make sure there's like an extra bit here. This is not something I would do on like a cotton fabric or something that frays, but because this is stretch knit, it's really not gonna go anywhere. It's not gonna fray. And then what I'm gonna do is I'm replacing my regular presser foot for a zipper foot. I'm pretty sure the term is called stitch in the ditch. I could be wrong about that. Don't come for me. I'm 8 months pregnant and fragile. But I'm gonna try and get the stitch just right in that like little line. I don't even know if you guys can see that. And again, not like this is a tutorial or anything, but I am sharing with you how I'm doing stuff. There's like that little line right there, that like seam line right there. I want to get my stitches in that line as quickly, this isn't fast, I'm not fast anymore, as nicely and neatly as possible. I feel like this explanation was worth beans. Let's just get to the sewing part. Casing on the neckline is done. All we have to do is fill it with the elastic, and I'm gonna wait to do that because I wanna work on the sleeves. And in my mind, it will be easier when everything is still flat and not bunched up with the elastic. There we go. So I'm not 100% sure what I'm gonna do on the sleeves. They are quite long. Like that's a long sleeve and I kind of want it to be like a short puff sleeve. I'm thinking maybe like an elastic casing about here and then another one just on the end. I think that's probably what I'll end up doing because it'll be easy and it'll look nice. So this is the casing that I think I'll do on the very, very bottom of the sleeve, just the simple one where like you fold it over and then you just sew it and that's it. Because it's easy and simple and won't take very long to do, so let's do that. Here's the sleeve. I've got this casing and then the casing at the top for the neck. So bottom of the sleeve, top of the neck. I want to add another casing here, but I'm trying to figure out, because everything's already constructed, what's the best way to do that? Do I just sew like a strip of fabric on the inside here? Sew, and then insert the elastic there? Or do I try and cheat it and like do a fold or something like that? Like that. I don't know, but I will get back to you guys on what I decide. I took a mobility break, which is basically when I stand up and do my exercises so that I can keep sitting down for long periods of time. I know it sounds ridiculous and maybe kind of stupid, but it helps me live my life better. So did some of these, did some stretches. Whew, I'm a little out of breath, but we're making it work. So I was able to kind of think through a few things and clear my mind a little bit. And I've made some executive decisions concerning this sleeve casing and how I'm gonna get them to be a little puffy. Here's what I'm gonna do. I've got my sleeve and I've got some extra fabric, and instead of doing the sneaky folding way, I just decided that was gonna create too much bulk. So what I'm gonna do is a regular casing, but I'm gonna make it really wide. That way I can pin it to the inside of the sleeve, sew everything on, and then trim down the excess, and it's just fine. Again, we're not worrying about fraying with this project. This is a stretch knit and it's a fairly decent quality, so it really shouldn't be coming apart. If that didn't make any sense to you, I'm sorry. This isn't a tutorial channel. You're in here now. You're in this brain, and sometimes things don't make sense here for you or for me. Imagine. Also, what is going on here? Do we see that? It's already starting. Back to the project at hand. It is finally elastic time. Thank goodness, that means we're almost done with this project. Do I have complete faith in it? No, absolutely not. That's not a thing for sewing projects normally anyways. It's pretty normal to feel kind of weird about things and be kind of questionable about things. Oh, I gotta do the casing on the neck, the casing on the mid sleeve, and the casing on the bottom sleeve, which means 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 casings. That's not too bad. Let's just do it and be done. And then we're making brownies from a box this time, because say what you will about homemade brownies, I love them too. Box brownies hit different, okay? And I want some brownies. So that's what we're working towards right now. Plus I'm gonna bring them to the baby shower. It's my small contribution, aside from just showing up because it's my party. Well, I guess it's kind of for the baby, but like, come on. Still fun. Oh, as a side note, the last time I worked with elastic and like casings and things like that, I only had this tiny little safety pin. Well, not only did I find a bigger safety pin, but I also found my tool for turning things inside out, and today is a better day for it. Okay, this isn't bad. Not mad at this. I think this is gonna work. I just need to accessorize a little bit better. Obviously, I'm not accessorized at all, but I'm thinking like long hair, maybe some curls, and maybe like a belt or something like leathery, earthy maybe. I also need to trim up the hem of light green skirt because like she a little long. So I'm gonna trim that up and then I'm just gonna call it good and be done because this is enough for me. I lied. I'm not done. I think I want to add a few little like bows onto the sleeve thingies and maybe onto the front. And then maybe I'm gonna add some straps to the darker green dress so it's not just like flat, I think. I just looked at it and I was like, it's too plain. Like there's no whimsy. I'm not like a super whimsical person, but this event demands whimsy. So we're adding bows and then seeing what else happens. The bows were a good choice. So now what I'm thinking is I want to add a bow up front, but I'm going to stitch the elastic in place and then make a little cut and then have like a little bit of an opening there. This might be a bad choice, but we're doing it anyways. I finished all the bows on the light green dress and now I'm gonna work on making some straps for the dark green dress. And I thought about maybe doing a couple different things, but in reality, I have stretch fabric to work with. That's not like the greatest thing in the world. So what I'm gonna do is I'm just gonna do like long straps that'll tie up on the shoulders and call it good. Yay. I feel like this is more along the lines of what I was going for. So I've got the bows on the sleeves and then a little bow here and then some straps just to kind of like give it some more structure, design, whatever you want to call it. This is pretty much, I think, my stopping point because if I don't stop now, I'm going to be late to my own party. I've just got to stitch on the little straps, just the front and the back ones. And then if I could find my flower crown, that'd be great. If I can't find it, oh well. Yep, this is good. You may have gotten to the end of the video and thought to yourself, why did I just watch 25 whole minutes of her struggling to make the ugliest sack on the planet, only to watch her in the very end not even wear it to the baby shower? She didn't even wear the green stretchy sack to the party? Well, no, I didn't wear it to the party, and I have no regrets. I don't have to explain myself to you or my mother. But basically what happened is I realized how delusional I was being, and I was just like, I can't show up to a party in this. It's just too much. There's too much fabric. It's too heavy. It's just all over the place. I just felt stupid, and even more so for wasting so much time making that monstrosity. So my plan going forward is, well, I mean, the day of the party, we are months past that now. I had the baby and everything. I wore my regular Hobbit costume, and I just didn't tie it very tight, and it was just fine. I didn't need to make something new. My plan for the actual fabric that was used in making that awful, giant, stretchy choir gown, disgusting mess, I'm just gonna cut it up and use it for something else. I want to make some pajama pants, and I think the green is really pretty. The fabric is really soft, so I will be using it. I just don't know when, because I'm very busy taking care of a baby. Still can't believe that's my reality, but here I am. So there you have my thoughts on the matter. The shower as a whole was really, really awesome. It was so beautiful. My sister-in-law, who is Style House Interiors over on Instagram, go give her a follow. She's the one that put everything together. It looked so beautiful. It was so much fun. And I didn't even want to have a baby shower. I got peer pressured into it by my sisters-in-law and my mother. And ultimately, I'm glad that I had one because I got some really cool stuff for me and the baby. And I have all those amazing pictures from the shower. And the Shire? A Shire shower party? Abso-freaking-lutely. Anyways, I have a million things I need to do today, so this video, let's wrap it up. If you have not subscribed, now is your time to do so. I make no promises. My schedule? What schedule? I post when I feel like it / when I can. I do miss you guys. I will say that I do miss you guys. Like and comment. Again, I have no idea what you would like or comment about this video, but here it is. That's the end. Bye.